Please envelop this entity so completely in love that all needs, wants, and desires are met. Amen.
And greetings.
Greetings, Wonders.
Greetings, Maggie.
Would you please go to whom, to where, and to when you are directed? Would you please locate your coordinator, Maggie McGuffin, on December 4th, 1999?
Yes, we have you.
We are gathered here at 16 Porter Street in the city of Barrie in the province of Ontario to do a general session for the Nature of Reality workshop group entitled, I Am the Creator. Would you please begin?
Everything around you, everything that you see, everything that you feel, everything that you hear, everything that you taste, and everything that you perceive, in effect, everything has been created. Now, who has created it? That is the question. For in effect, dear friends, each and every one of you has created the reality in which you exist. Now, notice how we said this. We said that each and every one of you has created the reality in which you exist. We didn't say you created the reality in which you exist. And the reason we didn't say this is because, dear friends, as we suggested in the previous sessions, that the perspective of choice, which has been explained prior to this particular perspective, we discussed the aspect that choice creates. And as a result, therefore, of term it a continuity of choice, an amalgamation of choices by different individuals, that has created the reality in which you exist. Now, for those of you listening to this particular series of audio recordings, please note that tape number 4 was done before tape number 3. That choice and its effects was completed prior to this particular tape. Now, the reason this was done is to, in effect, show the group here, as well as those of you listening to this particular series of recordings, to give you a perspective of how choice can alter the reality in which you exist. We suggested this to dear Maggie, and she went along with it. And to her credit, she chose. It was her choice. But she chose to do tape number 4 before tape number 3. From her perspective, she thinks of it as an error, and we assure you that it was not. It was very well intentioned. For it provided everyone with an opportunity to gain a perspective of how choice alters the reality in which you exist. Now, if choice alters the reality in which you exist, and you are the creator of that reality, and a choice, along with the choice of others, all forms the reality in which you create, then you can perceive, dear friends, how it is an amalgamation of everyone who creates the reality that you perceive. Now, and we do thank you, dear Maggie, for having provided the group and those listening to this particular series of audio recordings with that opportunity. Now, from the perspective of I Am the Creator, each and every one of you, by the choices you make, create your reality. As we suggested in the previous 2 sessions to number 3, which is number 1 and number 2. We suggested that that imagination, through choice and the application of the mind, creates the reality in which you exist. Now, because you have the imagination, and you have the choice, and you have the mind, then, dear friends, we assure you, you are the creators of your reality. You can, therefore, as creators, alter, shift, change, move, recreate, uncreate anything about your reality or your reality in its totality. Now, the very nature of reality is such that it is a creation. That's the very nature of it. It is a creation, as we've suggested in these last three sessions, including as well as this one. We are suggesting that the nature of the reality is such that as a creation, it can be changed and altered at will. Notice the word at will here. It's important. For it is your will that chooses the direction of your imagination, your choices, and therefore your creation. Will chooses it. Will decides it. Will picks it. Not George, not Mary, but Will. Therefore, from the perspective, that was a joke, dear friends. From the perspective of our sense of humor, obviously is not as good as we thought it was. From the perspective of maintaining, term it, the self as a creator, if you recognize that your will directs, your will commands, and your will is an extension of the you that is you, then, dear friends, you can perceive how easy it is for you to alter your choices in your existence and therefore your reality. Now, this isn't about standing there with your hand to your forehead saying, I will this to happen, I will this to happen, and repeat that to yourself until it happens. We would suggest if you were to do this exercise or use this methodology, then the probabilities of that which you are willing to happen are good, but the time perspective may not be based upon your own determinations. Therefore, when you will, through your choice of will, direct or command your imagination, your choices, and therefore your mind, to manifest that which your imagination of choices and choices have chosen, then, dear friends, you, in effect, begin to command the totality of your existence. As creators, you are in command of your existence. And we repeat, as creators, you are in command of your existence. Notice we did not say control. We did not say that every moment of your existence had to be maintained, controlled, determined, predetermined, post-determined, or in some way, shape, or form formed by your will. We did not say that. What we said was that as creators, you are in command of your existence. In command of your existence means, quite simply, if you care to review the control versus command series, it means, dear friends, that you direct, you choose the direction of your existence, and you recognize that talents and abilities and resources necessary to follow that direction exist within the self. Now, from that perspective, therefore, when the will, the you that is you, through the application of will, commands your existence, you command or direct the imagination. How do you command imagination, which is, by its very nature, an unlimited perspective, an unlimited aspect of existence? And we would suggest you command imagination by giving it something to imagine. You don't tell it what to imagine. You give it a direction. For example, I would like abundance. Imagine yourself abundant.